All right, we're going to head down to the casters. For my first time ever, and for the first time this weekend, it is such an honor to welcome to the booth Corey Baumeister and first, Ailey Loney.
Thank you so much, Rich. Yes, indeed. Welcome, everybody, to the feature match area. I'm Ailey Loney alongside Corey Baumeister.
Hey, hey.
We're in Minneapolis. We're going to crown a champion this weekend, and we cannot wait to jump into another round of draft here. We were sitting backstage watching Reid Duke drafting this, and we were all going, OMG, how
Bombs.
does he lose this? And it turns out you just play five-color nonsense with the big bombs, like Atraxes. Oh, my goodness. Unbelievable stuff indeed.
That was an awesome first match, I must say. I'm excited.
So we're going to have to see how Reid Duke, our reigning Pro Tour champion, can hold up against Marco Cammilluzzi, who is playing a color pair that, you know, we don't often see as like the favored pick. The yes, I want to be in these colors. It's not first choice.
Yeah, Boros definitely not exactly what you want, but when you can get a really strong, aggressive curve and you have great removal, which Marco does, you can really do some damage here in this format. Definitely just relies on the curve a little bit more, where if you have a nice smooth one, it's going to be pretty good, but if you miss some of the spots, it's going to be a little brutal.
It's going to be rough indeed, so players are ready to rock and roll. Let's jump into it, take a look at the hand of both players here. As we saw, 3 sealed from existence for Marco Cammilluzzi. So if there are any big haymakers coming down from Reid Duke, he's got to be wary of those taking his goodies.
Yep, absolutely. And Reid definitely has a lot of bombs. You know, not that many removals is kind of the main thing that Reid's deck is really missing. But yeah, seal from existence to be able to take Boon Valkyrie is going to be a problem.
Yeah, that card is so good. It's an absolute house when it comes down. So kicking things off here, we have both players finding their land drops, which is always a good place to start off with here, as we have a knight down on the battlefield, ready to get ready to get attacking here. The Sigilled Sentinel from Marco Cammilluzzi.
Yep, decides not to attack into that. I did see the Invasion of Fiora in hand already for Reid, so maybe trying to hold off the battlefield a little bit and then set up a really nice turn to just wrath the board.
Yep, Knight of the New Coalition. Hits the board too, so Vigilance aplenty here as we're going to add another creature to the board. So Reid Duke has to deal with this ever-growing spread of creatures now from the Italian side of things.
Yep, absolutely. And look at Reid's hand. That's really impressive. You have Boonbringer Valkyrie, Furja, and Invasion here with Unseal to bring some stuff back. And, oh, probably my favorite card in the set. I love Phyrexian Gargantuan.
You do?
Phyrexian Ranger, just two of them. Combine them.
It's fine. Yeah,
it's not the best card,
it's not the best thing you want to
it.
be doing on turn 6, but yes, it can get you out of a pickle if you find yourself there for a body that brings you cards at the cost of 2 life. But, you know, it's a small price to pay for some card advantage.
Yep, absolutely. And with these players starting 0-1, going down 0-2 is really, really brutal start for these players. So a very important match to make sure that they don't fall into that hole, because your chances of winning the Pro Tour when you start with 2 losses already definitely diminishes.
Definitely so. We're going to see a Convoke here, as well as the Seraph of New Capenna hitting the battlefield, one of the transform cards. So piece of removal, Etched Familiar is going to get taken down. Poor little guy.
And Reid's going to be pretty happy with this, actually. Like, it looks really bad right now, you know, with this battlefield being so overwhelming. But as long as Reid can pick up some removal spells here for Invasion, it's going to be great. But as I say that, no lands in hand, so you really do need to hit this pretty quickly.
Yeah. Oh, no. Breach of the Multiverse in the bin. That's such a fun card.
Feels so bad to put that one into the graveyard.
Yeah, that's, man, I understand the need for Unsealed Necropolis in a format like this, but I also hate it when it mills my goodies. It's like, I want to play this.
Yeah, I was like, if it's going to mill anything, mill my Boonbringer Valkyrie so I can bring that back.
Yeah.
That's what you want. But a swamp off the top here for Reid is huge.
Yeah.
Now just deciding how much does Reid want to commit to the battlefield. This is a really smart play, committing a legend, so that if you do top deck, Invasion can just get rid of everything but Furja.
Legends. Well, there is one of those sealed from existence, so Furia goes bye-bye for now. And that's a lot of damage. They all have Vigilance, so
this is going to be a
expected Marco to go.
Big draw step. Big draw step here for Reid.
Land. Is it a land? Yes! Alrighty. Okay, we're in business. Let's go. Get out of here. Everything is deaded. And, of course, Marco is now responsible for protecting that Invasion of Fiora, so all the creatures dead. And now back to a nice clean board. Let's see
Yes.
what Reid can build from here.
And the thing for Marco that's really brutal is, well, the Boros deck doesn't do that great of a job of recuperating after a Wrath effect like this, but Reid, especially with Bringer Valkyrie, has a nice restock here for next turn, and just hoping to dodge another one of those seals, which Marco does have.
Yeah. It's under the gateway. It's going to make a little itty-bitty token. And then we see Invasion of Kylem here, I believe.
Okay. Do you mind if I take it out of the sleeve?
Sure.
Yeah, read the backside. This is the wordiest set since the last set, I'll have you know.
Yes, but I believe it.
Yeah.
When you have so many different card names on the front and the back here, that ends up being quite strong.
Yeah, so this doesn't really do much right now. Just gives vigilance +2. Oh, and haste. So the little 2/2 is now a little bigger and is going to get in for 4, taking Reid Duke down to 2.
All right, so Phyrexian Gargantua is not castable, and Marco does have a Seal of Existence, so if Reid only has one threat, this 2/2 is just going to win the game straight away.
That is going to be game over. So land, Boonbringer Valkyrie. Here is the big ol' angel.
And that's
Can
it.
this save Reid Duke? The answer is no with that Seal of Existence, like you mentioned. So little 2/2 gets the job done here for Marco Cammilluzzi. Let's go to game number 2, Corey. Not looking so hot here for our Pro Tour Phyrexia champion.
Yeah, Reid was so close to stabilizing there, but just even if Reid was at 3, being able to start casting those other cards, get some Etched Champions down there, and be able to stabilize a little bit. Or Etched Familiar, excuse me.
Yeah. Make a drinker in hand. This is another one of these little 1/1s, you know, similar to Crawling Chorus from the previous set, when
Yes.
Marshall absolutely loved that card.
He couldn't get enough of it.
Yeah, Ichor Drinker kind of fills that spot too. It's like, oh yeah, I like this guy. Because, you know,
Yeah.
it's 2 creatures in 1.
Exactly, yeah. Really good with different sack outlets, for especially for Black-White.
Yep.
I'm a big fan. Black-White also not necessarily everybody's favorite archetype. You know,
Yeah.
pretty low on the data points as far as the most successful ones, but definitely an archetype that I love quite a bit as well, with all the incubate synergies.
Yeah, Incubate's such a cool mechanic. I
It
like
is
it a lot.
great.
You know, and the inclusion of battles in this set too. I think it's just a
Yeah.
home run.
And to Convoke, I mean, every single mechanic like that really just screams that this is a very skill-intensive limited
Yeah.
format. So I think our 3-0s, our 6-0s for limited are really going to be some star players.
Yeah. So Ichor Drinker, Etched Familiar, down on the battlefield here. This Trailblazing Historian. Yeah, these haste givers. They always spell
fan?
bad news. Oh, I like them. You know, I like turning things sideways, don't get me wrong, but you know that there's something big and dumb that's going to hit the board, and that guy is going to give it haste. So for now, it's a Harried Artisan. Excuse me, that's the...
The Scrounger, yep.
yeah,
the Scrounger there.
the Hanger Scrounger, that's the
There
one.
we go.
Him getting haste, just being able to get you a card there and then, you know, that's excellent.
Definitely. Marco picked up a nice draw there, just picking up the planes. Didn't have second white for Seal of Existence ×2 in the hand, so very huge play here for Marco. And Marco's hand looks great, and Reid's kind of out of steam already, but has some really big draws in his deck.
Yeah, this completed Hunt Master, excuse me, you're talking about sack outlets earlier. Hitting
Yes.
Ichor Drinker, getting to incubate 3. That's so
Yes.
cool. You're just upgrading all of your tokens if you get a 1/1 or a 2/2. You know, oh, cool, 3/3.
100% agree. And just to be able to have basically infinite chump blockers,
Yeah.
too, if you're facing down a really large creature. Just block, sack, incubated, and step block, sack, rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
Ends up being one of my favorite uncommons.
It's definitely something that Marco would like to get off this board. You know,
Yeah.
perhaps via Volcanic Spite, something along those lines. So let's see if he can get rid of that. Seal from Existence available to him. So pick your poison here. What would
Yeah.
you like to do?
All the removal spells. Picked up a Prankster for the turn, so has a nice curve. If Marco wants it, doesn't discard a land, for instance. See what was discarded. And
It's going to send back that Prankster,
looks like it.
play the land, and hold up removal, or fake it at least.
Yeah, that was interesting because that was a nice little curve that you could
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
you know, play after this, but yeah, doesn't decide to do it.
Gift of Completion, Drag Recycler, Scroll Shift in hand. So Gift of Completion will allow a scry whenever Phyrexian dies for him. Brings along a little buddy too.
It's one of my favorite cards. I love Gift of Completion. Like, just the surveils that you get off of it, really great enough. But the fact that it is still just 2 mana, essentially for a 3/3, of course, you have to commit a little bit more mana, but really, really nice in black-white. And there's some strong synergies. If you ever blink that and just be able to create another Incubate token, which we did see that Reid had in his hand.
So I'm going to see an attack here with the Scrounger, the draw and the discard.
Yeah, scroll shift in hand, being able to make another creature at some point.
For 2 life, I surveil 1.
Going to be a trade, a drain,
17.
and a surveil. Courtesy of the block there. So the Scrounger is a Scrounger no more. Has to go and dig around in the graveyard. As we see a follow-up there. Another Knight brings a 2/2 friend along with it.
Yep, not the best attacks into the mana open for a 3/3 Incubate creature, so just forced to pass the turn. And Reid has stabilized from Marco's really fast start. And that's good news for Reid, because Reid's deck definitely has the bigger top decks, where Marco has the more consistent, aggressive style of deck here.
Yeah, for sure. You know, at some point, though, Marco is going to run out of steam a little bit, whereas Reid has the propensity to go over the top with the big heavy hitters like the Boonbringer Valkyrie, like the the Breach the Multiverse. But, you know, Seal, if he can keep Reid in check and just get these blockers off the board, you know, that's Marco's avenue to victory here.
100% agree. Looks like that is another Knight of New Collation in hand there. Going to be able to just really put a lot of pressure here on Reid.
Yeah. Doing a good job of that. He is sitting at 23, though, so quite comfortable for the time being. Ichor Drinker can jump in the way of something big when it needs to. You know, the Dreg Recycler's there. But, you know, unfortunately losing that completed Hunt Master, so none of that fun stuff that we were
totally
about
agree.
just a few turns ago. Man, I just want to see him drop something massive. I kind of want to see City on Fire, just because I really like that card, but it's so expensive.
So tough to get down, and I feel like every time I get that card to land, my opponent has dealt with all my creatures, and I'm like, all right, this doesn't do as much. But if it ever connects, and you can really get something going with that, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Stoke the Flames, anyone?
Yeah, sure. Lucky Scrap Chomper, one of the best named cards in the set. I love it. It's just a cute little 1/1 that can just munch on some artifacts or lands if you have spare. When do you ever have spare lands in a Boros deck, though?
You know, I mean, when you're kind of saying it, though, when you run out of steam, like the Boros deck definitely does. So this card makes a little bit of sense. At least you can get in a couple of points of damage early, and then late game, after you've really deployed all your threats and you're up to land 5, land 6, basically what Marco finds is completely unneeded, you know, in a deck that is very much focused on the curve of 4 drops and less, with a couple exceptions. Then you can just start getting rid of some lands to try to close the game. So, boom, Boon off the top was huge, though, Ailey.
Boonbringer, baby, let's go. Backup ability, did that go on the Ichor Drinker?
I believe it did,
Flying, first strike, lifelink, lifelink. So you get double life, yeah?
Double lifelink, yep, sure does.
Curses
sure does not.
Wow, there goes our pretty angel, sealed away from existence once again.
Yeah, Boonbringer Valkyrie has to just be one of the most incredible cards in this set. We've already seen cards like that in the past, Lyra Dawnbringer being one of them, where it's just so great already, but when you can kind of give it a Baneslayer ability, Baneslayer or Lyra, to another creature and get an attack in right away, even if you lose it, getting to gain a little bit of life ends up being excellent.
You know, when you're looking at or assessing your cards that you open, you're looking for bombs, you're looking for removal and evasion. You know, you get a bomb and evasion on one glorious angelic stick.
Yes.
Which is the Boonbringer Valkyrie. So.
Yep, totally agree.
It'd be nice if it could actually, like, you know, stick on the board for a little bit here.
No kidding.
These seals, oof.
These seals have come in very handy against Reid, and I mean, most of the time Seal is just a great card, but if you play against a deck that's really trying to go wide, makes a bunch of tokens, it ends up looking pretty bad. But Reid's deck is all about, you know, a couple removal spells here and there, and then just haymakers. So Marco's deck is lining up quite well against Reid so far.
Definitely. Now we're going to see Invasion of Belanon hit the board too, adding further creatures. And then if that flips, you know, I'm wondering if we might see an attack on this battle here shortly.
Yeah.
To give that Anthem effect.
Absolutely. Got to clear out the 2/4 flyer here. Is really brick walling everything here from Marco.
Yeah, what, 4 attackers currently? 2 blockers from Reid?
Yeah, and you could... Yeah, you can't really increase the amount of attackers with that other Knight in hand.
Oh, he is going to chomp on lands.
Okay, chomps away. Interesting to chomp on Plains there. City on fire is just expecting to be on top, but you have so many seals that you would think
2 seals
that you want to keep it. Okay, Plains was already in the hand. That makes a lot of sense. And yeah, now that little 1-drop is going to be doing some really good work here on this battlefield as Marco is flooding out a little bit.
Didn't your mama ever tell you not to eat dirt? Scratch on.
We all had to learn the hard way.
Yeah. Oh boy. Seal from Existence. Shatter the Source.
Wow.
We saw that in the first game. Knight of the New Coalition again. How many knights did he end up with?
No kidding.
That was a fair few. 3.
Yeah, an incredible pickup here.
Alrighty, let's see where Marco Cammilluzzi of Italy is going to go with this. We're tapping out here almost. First, it's going to be our knights, so 2 more creatures added to the board. I bet Reid Duke is just hoping for a board war.
Yeah, invasion off the top
please.
would be so incredible. Getting to keep Furja around and get rid of everything else and attack it would be excellent. But Reid's getting to the point where the battlefield's going so wide for Marco that you really kind of need it at this point. You know,
it's not going to matter. You know, a couple of life here and there is just going to get outweighed heavily.
Yeah, exactly.
By what, I don't know. He's got a bunch of damage coming through here. 2, 4, 6, 7. At fear, okay.
Okay, so this was the attackers attacked at the invasion, and then this, but here we go. We see Scroll Shift to be able to blink this at instant speed to be an excellent card here. And Reid's been very, very, you know, conservative with that card. We're not trying to play it too early, even though you're really incentivized to try to play the cards in your hand to activate Furja. So ends up being a really, really nice thing here.
Shadow the Source doesn't get a target there. Fury back on the battlefield. Scroll Shift gets a card. So let's see what Reid can do. Just a swamp in hand, so isn't able to cast the double spells like you mentioned, Corey, to get that ability off of Furia.
With 1 card in your hand.
Absolutely. Deciding on the Surveil here. I always thought it was Furja. I guess I'm wrong, huh?
I'm just, until someone corrects us.
There we go. There we go. Well, one of us
I think
wrong.
it's Furia, but you
Furia.
know.
Okay, I'll stick with you. You're better at card names than I am.
Twitch
That's for
chat
sure.
will enlighten us as to how to pronounce the names.
Yeah, absolutely. Incredible card though. A card we've seen
It's
in
great.
previous
Yeah,
sets
I love it. And the
that I
art
really
is
liked.
just, oof.
Yeah.
These Multiverse Legends, oh, they're so good.
I love it. Yorian, anyone?
I dislike that card immensely, and I know how much you love it.
Yes,
so.
yes.
Alrighty, little buddy Ichor Drinker at the bin. Gonna create that the 2 countered incubation token.
And unfortunately for Reid, just trying to play 2 spells. And, well, that was probably the worst card to top deck to be able to play since it is a legend. And there is another seal.
Okay, that's the 3rd one. He's done. He's out now.
Yep, out of seals.
Goodness me.
Wow.
Wow. That, yeah, Marco must have felt so great getting the 3rd one.
Yeah, no kidding.
Unbelievable stuff.
Well, good news for Reid Duke fans a little bit is you do have a backup Angel to be able to play, and, well, it won't be getting Seal of Existence, and I think Marco is basically out of removal.
Yeah,
we see one Alabaster, right? Like, one Alabaster Host and has the 6 land, so that's pretty much the only other removal spell in Marco's deck to deal with it. But Reid is still trying to knock the top of the deck. Is it a breach? Is it an invasion?
Please be an invasion.
Or breach into invasion.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
you a fan?
Okay, cool. All right, it's just going to be Furia and double spell. There we go, Etched Familiar. So the top of the deck lining
that's
up.
Breach.
What?
That's Breach.
Yeah.
What an
Did you see
incredible...
the other 2? Icky. Other 2, Swamps, Ick, get out of there. But yes, Breach.
What an incredible top deck, though. Just something that Reid could play with Furja here to be able to activate that. So huge sequence there for Reid.
Oh, that's so good here for Reid Duke.
Okay. Now Reid has really weathered the storm here. Is at 25, so still doing fine.
Okay.
And gets to play this powerful spell next turn. Huge advantage back to Reid Duke.
Yeah, and more creatures getting committed to the board here. You wanna see that invasion of Fiora off the top of the library, excuse me, or off the invasion. Actually, no, it mustn't be on the top because we want to hit it.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
Second down.
Yeah. Zolfiran Lancer hits the board, gets a hasty buff.
Now, the one thing about Breach against this Boros deck removal is probably the best thing that you want to be hitting. Marco doesn't have a lot of that left.
No.
And now Marco just doesn't have really heavy hitters. The Alabaster is probably the main card that'll be a good hit, but
Can we go
not the
please count
best
our library?
ones.
Oh, Breach.
Can we count
Breach is
our
just,
library?
Yes, let's count libraries. Breach is this creature or planeswalker.
Okay,
so
so
it's
can't
not
hit
gonna
the
hit
invasion.
battle, yeah.
Absolutely, okay.
Okay, so let's not mill the invasion then. There
You
we
were
go.
right the
All
first
we're just
time,
putting in our
absolutely.
orders. Apologies to our waitress. We'll give you a good tip at the end, promise.
Yeah, that question you never really want to be asked. Let's count our libraries real quick.
What's worse, cards in hand or how many cards in library?
Yeah. I think the absolute worst is you're tapped out, right?
Yeah.
That's probably the worst question to be
You're
asked.
at 2?
Yeah. All right.
Oh, boy.
Based on the library count, maybe Reid is considering not casting the Breach. I kind of doubt it.
Attack.
But if your library is so little, maybe you have 13 cards or something like that,
Yeah.
it can be a real cost.
Yeah, because you have to then calculate, all right, how can I kill you quick enough with the cards that I have left? So here we go, 10 cards off the top. Let's take a look, see, do we have any good hits? Lands. Ayara's pretty
Okay.
neat. That's a
Very
good one.
good. And not hitting invasion is
Yeah,
excellent
yeah,
with that
that's
not being
great.
able to hit those. So
Oh, there you go. There's a
Can I have a look at the rest?
City on
there
Fire
is
in the
City-
bin, so that's not a problem or a concern. There's a Knight in there. There's the 3/3. What else we got?
Reid might just want to take the Knight of New
I'll take-
Coalition
Yeah.
to just get
two
a couple bodies to
Yeah.
block.
Ayara
And
the
Ayara.
Knight of the New Coalition.
There
Yep.
you go. Yep.
Okay.
Good
Make a
job,
Knight
Corey.
token.
You know magic.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, Ayara is so cool. I just built a commander deck around her because I was just like, oh my gosh, this card is sick.
It is an
So-
incredible Magic card, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, this is excellent. A sacrifice outlet, a way to deal that, big chunk of damage if you can get, something with a massive mana value down on the board.
Yeah, and I believe in the bottom right-hand corner of our deck, we do see Phyrexian Gargantua in the graveyard. So something available for Reid is just pay 5, flip it, bring back Phyrexian Gargantua, draw 2 cards here, go to 25 at such a high life total. Basically, that is just dependent on how many cards is in Reid Duke's library because you
Yeah.
can't get too close here.
Yeah. Cutting it a little close there. Just got to be
I'll
wary of
respond
that.
to the backup ability and
Oh, nice. Collective Nightmare. Going to take care of the Knight. So no backup ability for them.
Yep, and with the Anthem there, the backup ability would have put it to a 4/4.
Yeah.
So is able to stop
Zero
that
cards.
before the problem comes out. And now Reid is handless, but starting with an Ayara available to be flipped. No cards in hand for Marco. So, yeah, time to pick up that graveyard and see what kind of goodies we have.
It's like having a whole other hand available to him right now. And Ayara is just such a cool card.
Yeah, incredibly powerful. Yeah,
And with
returning-
other sack outlets too, like, oh, he doesn't have one available now, but whatever you bring back, it gets exiled at the end step.
Unless you sacrifice
Unless
it.
you sacrifice
yep,
it, yeah,
A beautiful combo there.
You just get some lovely little interactions with the sacrifice decks, but for now, it looks like we're just happy to chill for the time being.
Ah, interesting. Reid did not want to flip that at all. It's just keeping Ayara's front ability available, which definitely adds up. If you're sacking this Knight, deal 4, gain 4.
Yeah.
If you're sacking Etch Familiar, take 5 with the ability from Etch Familiar as well with the drain too. So it adds up
great.
pretty quickly where, it's really impressive for Ayara when you have to kind of debate, is the front half better or is the back half? Yeah, exactly. And most of the time,
Sacrifice, so
surprisingly,
3 for
the front
5.
is better.
Yep, that's exactly what we're going to do. So Etch Familiar.
9,
Goodbye,
Surveil.
cute little bud.
Gets a Surveil off of it as well.
Yeah.
Reid does have just a Swamp in hand, so looking to get a little bit more action.
Nice. Down to 9 goes Marco Cammilluzzi, and Reid Duke, this is what he wanted the deck to do,
Yep.
And
there is only 4 cards left in library for Reid, and that's
Yeah.
really, I think, what Marco's looking for right now. Probably
Yeah,
not even
just
going to
trying to-
attack this game anymore, just hold back, and hope Reid decks himself with milling 10 cards from Breach.
Yep.
Can I have a look at your graveyard?
All right, looking at graveyards again. Let's go digging.
So at this point, Reid's looking at Graveyard not necessarily for something that he wants to reanimate from Marco, but what is left in your deck at this point. Players get to see their pools, so they get to see exactly what was drafted by them, so process of elimination can kind of figure it out.
Yeah. And Ayara doing what she does. You know, her armies and her suitors are expendable, so she is just throwing them to the wind, darling. Yes, yes, go out there, go do things.
That's a beautiful Ayara
Thank you. I imagine
voice.
she
I
sounds
like
like
it.
this, yes. But yeah, no, an excellent card. And, you know, the transforming cards, just having an excellent either side.
Yes.
You know, it's just like having another card in your deck.
Yeah. Adds just another layer of complexity, you know, trying to play around cards when they're tapped out, when you have convoke cards, transforming so you have to know the backsides of a bunch of cards, and the battles, creating these like sub-games. This set is just amazing, and I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite, if not my favorite, of all times. I've been having so much fun playing
Flippity-flop,
this.
flippity-flop.
All
Here
right, here we
comes
go.
the Furnace Queen.
Go to combat.
Lovely.
Okay.
Oh, little familiar coming back.
So familiar coming back to attack now. It is, if it is just taken, it exiles and it will
It
not.
exiles. You won't get the death trigger.
You won't
off
get
of
the
that.
death trigger, but if you block, then you do get the trigger. So at some point, Marco will have to start blocking these creatures, but this is not exactly the one to start with.
No.
End of turn, exile.
She's so pretty. Terrifying, but pretty.
Yes. Fantastic card.
Fantastic indeed, as we're going to see our lovely death touchy friend hit the board, and that's going to be too much there for Marco to deal with. So jumping into game 3 here, whoop, Breach the Multiverse in hand.
Gotta love that. That's the first card you gotta put there, absolutely. Most important there. Looks like we got a couple of lands.
Yeah,
Functional hands from both players.
Love to see it. No planes, though, with a Seal of Existence, Seal from Existence in hand. Oh, there we go, we found one. So kicking things off there with a lovely 2-drop. That's where you want to be as the Boros player. You need to get Reid Duke dead and fast, because the longer the game goes, the more it favors him.
Definitely. And that card can be really scary. If you're able to transform it right on turn 3, which Marco can do, and just get it going, that card can be absolutely terrifying. Usually in more spell-based decks, so like blue-red, it's really good in. Maybe black-red if you have a lot of removal and stuff like that. So not ideal, but the Spell Spear can really, really create a fast clock transformed on the other side.
I mean, what more do you want from a 2-drop? Got Trample, so if you have any buff effects, like we've seen the Anthem, we see the backup. It's an excellent backup target, even though it's not particularly, you know, designed specifically for that.
Exactly. Maybe flying. I'll take flying on that card. Yeah.
Flappy Bird. Get Lorch.
Depending if I'm playing it versus if my opponent's playing it.
Yes.
All right, look at this curve
again. This
from
is
Marco
crazy,
here.
yeah. Frick. 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, go.
Okay. Lancer is getting that boost there as well from both knights.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
whenever
triggers
another
twice.
knight, it's not just one or more.
So just
Cool.
5 damage coming in, and all of a sudden, Reid Duke is very much up against it. That is a ton of power here with that beautiful curve.
All right, lands. Let's hope we can survive to hit that Breach the Multiverse. If you're a Reid Duke fan, it's going to be a tenured oil coster. Not great right now. It's just a 2/4, but it can die. Jump block.
Yep. So Reid has a great curve of 5 into 6 into 7 with Boon, Valkyrie into Gargantua into Breach, but no planes. So right now, you can't even cast Boon Valkyrie, which is a card that would very much help Reid out here, but Marco also just has that plane for Seal of Existence in hand, has the invasion to pump the team.
Yeah.
This is looking really bad for Reid Duke here.
Yeah, you know, at this point, Shark, Blood in the Water, go. Marco has Invasion of Kylum, being able to give his creatures, you know, the buff, can take it down immediately and get the flip side of it, so. Ooh.
And the flip side, just getting 2 3/2s out of it
just
immediately.
casually, you know, you like to go wide here, have some extra buddies.
All right.
Yeah, giving it to the Spell Spear too.
So Spell Spear is getting prowess, and now we decide where we want to point this at.
Yeah, looks like it's supposed to be the Knight and the Spell Spear.
Okay.
So Zephyr Knight, rather large.
All right, that is an attack for 10,
Yeah.
and it looks like both of them are going at invasion. So that's saying, Reid, you have to double chump to stop the invasion from flipping here.
Yeah. I mean, how does he come back from that? At this rate, He's going to be super dead super quick.
I mean, when you have an Invasion of Fiora in your deck, there's always a way. But right now, Reid doesn't have land 6 and doesn't have the namesake card. So pretty brutal here.
That didn't even matter in game 1, though. He was able to clear the board, and Marco was just like, okay, still had all these.
Exactly.
Battle's defeated.
Battle is defeated.
Triggers. I have 2, 3-2.
Yep.
I don't know if you have
Flippity
warrior.
flop, casting the spell.
Is this right?
2 3/2s.
Okay. Yep, 3/2s, and whenever this creature, or at least one other creature token attacks, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. So
That's just silly.
they work together.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
are a tag team
They're
here.
buddies.
So
like
absolutely.
you and me. See, we're in the right colors today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's go, bud.
All right, so land 6 is picked up from Reid here, and you have some things to do some blocking, but it might be getting to the point where it's got to be either on the top of the deck or maybe second from the top to just stay alive here.
Yeah, land 7 will be helpful for sure. You know, Phyrexian Gargantuan can get in the way of one of these and kill these, like the Zolfira Knight, for example, if there's no extra friends coming, but oof.
Yeah,
those 2 3/2s, they scare me the most right now.
100%. They're not going to be 3/2s for long, Haley, I'll tell you that. So, and even if you play Gargantuan, the Seal of Existence to be able to take that away if he doesn't just fire it off now, but...
Yeah. Protection. Spellstalker, the flip side of the Spell Spear.
I'll think for a
Ward
moment.
2 now with Prowess. So the problems are just doubling here. I'm sensing a theme in this deck. It's just
Double trouble?
Double trouble, for sure.
So Seal comes into play here. You get that double prowess trigger to make that creature a 5/5 and targeting Reid's best blocker here. I think I have to take it back. It can't be second from the top. It looks like Reid needs Invasion on the top.
Yeah, this is bad news bears right now for Reid Duke, our reigning Pro Tour champion. 0-2 is not how you want to start.
Definitely
your
not,
game.
but we have seen, Utah did go 0-3 into winning one of these tournaments, so it's not impossible.
It's not impossible,
but it's not where you want to start.
No.
You can basically win the tournament with 4 losses. So you can lose 1 round in constructed if you start 0-3. So that is a really big deal.
Yeah. Here we go, getting counters, getting some blockers in here.
5,
That's such a lot of damage.
3, 5, 10,
18?
18, right?
Yeah, 18 damage. Putting Reid down to 4. Is it Invasion? I think it's the only top deck.
That is the question here. It's either going to be Invasion or Handshake, so... Just doing some quick math here with the judge. Double checking.
A spell.
Yep, that's a prowess trigger. So trigger, actually.
8.
Yep.
So that's extra 2 power there on that guy.
All right, big draw.
What is it?
Oh, Swamp.
Oh, man.
Okay, good game.
Another Swamp. Good game there to Marco Cammilluzzi, dispatching of Reid Duke with an excellent Boros deck. And like we mentioned, like we've spoken about too, this format is so close in terms of what is viable. And we're just seeing Marco absolutely crushing it there. Those Seal from Existence and just going wide. What do you do against that board, Corey?
Yeah, you got a top deck Invasion. That's pretty much what you got to do. But yeah, Seal of Existence, these kind of O-ring effects are always incredible and limited. To have 3 of them and to have it have Ward, just in case it's ever able to be destroyed. Really strong in this set and looked really good in Marco's deck here to be able to pick up his first win.
It really did. And we're going to have plenty more Magic right after this break, friends. So don't go anywhere. Round 3 coming up after this.